Where's my camera? Please have bars. I can't stress to you how important that is to me. And the reason why I say that is because the first best MC was Grandmaster Caz. Mm-hmm. He had bars. No Grandmaster Caz, no Rakim, no KRS-One, no Big Daddy Kane. Grandmaster Caz had bars. Mm. And rap was a contact sport, so it's like you had to have bars. Like, now it's... Please have bars.
Aux Money back with another one. If you know anything about these three individuals sitting on this couch right now, this is going to be just a total gem of an episode, man. It's a lot of history between all three of us. And also, this is the Father's Day edition episode of Aux Money, so thank you guys for tuning in. We have God's favorite DJ here, Clark Kent, my big brother. We have Antonio here, future super producer, all of that. He's lining everything up, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you guys coming. And, joining us on the couch here, on this Aux Money couch. So,
it's an honor to be here.
I appreciate it. Same. And first of all, I got to do this, man. It's the Father's Day episode. I got to shout out to my pops, too, man, because I know he watches all these episodes. Shout out to Big Kev, man. He instilled a lot of things. Just even building the studio in Houston, all that DIY, do-it-yourself stuff was, I learned so much from him financially and all that. So I appreciate you, Pops, for being such a good dad. And Rockwood, his Pops, my grandfather, rest easy. I got his name tattooed on my fingers, actually. But I named the studio in Houston after him because he was the same way. So shout to all the father figures in my life because you guys rule, man. So I appreciate that. So
amazing.
All right, now, Clark, Antonio, how we feeling, man? It's Father's Day energy, summertime. What's going on in New York City? You know what I want to know, man? Because I know the dynamic in my household growing up when I was around like 13, 14, 15. It got a little murky between me and my dad, just discipline-wise. What was like discipline like in the household if you got out of line a little bit?
I wasn't the best in school. You know what I'm saying? I got a little rebellious when it came to the grades and all that.
Yeah.
So it was like, yo, you can't be fly. So he took away all my sneakers and was like, you can only wear white on whites. It's very grimy.
Sick.
It's very grimy.
Wait, whether they're clean or not, it was just
yeah, he would buy me a new pair if they got too dirty and be like, yo, put these on. You cannot wear anything.
But the punishment
else.
was no color on your sneakers.
No, now he hates white on white.
I hate white on white.
I bet.
Yeah.
That is wow. That's the most Clark Kent punishment I've ever heard.
Yeah.
What's crazy is like looking back at it, I was like, that's very like, okay, yeah, I took because he wanted to be the flyest young kid at the school, but then I'm just like, I still put him in fly sneakers.
Right.
But then he looked around and he was like, I hate these sneakers now. And I'm just like, so now like when white and whites come out, I'm like, yo, you see me? He's
But trust and believe, like I'm putting the other sneakers in my bag and then bringing it to school. You know what I'm saying? Like getting fly is like, it's mandatory, you know, every day. And
would you know? Was it one of those things where you thought you was slick and he kind of knew anyway? Was just like,
oh no, he'd catch me sometimes. I'd come back home. He'd be like, "Open your bag. You see the shoes." Yeah.
Damn, that's tough.
They're not slicker than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my kids are just not slicker than me. I mean, I'm really, really from the hood, so like we really did hood shit for real. So I'm just looking at him like, dog, you know you can't hide the sneakers in the bag. Like I know.
Yeah, like you come from me, man.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like. Just stop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But, you know.
And I see you don't have white on whites on today.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? Me and Aunt, we twins over here today. You know what I'm saying? Got a very special pair of sneakers on. Let's describe these real quick.
The list is actually literally a joke. The four names that are inside the shoe are the actual list. And the joke was that we help each other get shoes. So whenever we helped each other get a shoe, if we got it early, we would say, you're on the list. Right. But the only list was us four. So one of my guys lives in London, and I would call him and get shoes from London.
Yeah.
He would call me to get shoes from the States. My next man's in D.C. I would call him.
Yeah.
If I wanted some luxury, I call all day. So it was all day, Magdi, and my boy Abdul. So we helped each other get what we wanted
worldwide.
From wherever, right? When we post the picture and we write the list, people be like, "Oh yeah, they hooked up with the brands," and I'm just like, "No, it's a joke." Right? So when I got asked to do something for 40th anniversary, I said I wanted to try to create a community of folks who would be the list for each other. So I created the shoes and I gave them away, and in the box it came with a note that said, if you want the match to your shoe, hit me with an email. I'll try to find somebody who wants that. Now, imagine if you hit me with an email and your size is the same size as Jadakiss and he wants to switch and you've never heard of you never met Jadakiss,
right.
now I connect you. That's the list,
right?
Because now you got some, like, he knows you're the same size. He could ask you for something wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? So the idea was to try to build a community, and that was their mission.
It's like a social media through sneakers almost.
Yeah.
You know, a special moment that happened with these was I was like, yo, we're going to the Utopia concert.
Right.
Dad, we got to bring the shoes. I'm like, I want to hand them off to you and Trav.
Right.
You know, so that was like a moment for me too. And, you know, when I'm going around the city and rocking my shoes and people are like, oh my God, you got those? Where'd you get those? It's almost kind of like a little different from what he had, because when he had it, it was just like, I don't know where to get those. Now it's just like, I can't get those at all.
Right.
You know? So it's just a little different. It's really just like flex competitions every day you walk outside. Before it was just like, yo, I'm getting fly, and that's my whole thing. But now it's just like, if your shoe's not fire, then the whole thing is ruined, basically. You know? Yeah.
So let's break down this love for the Air Force One, because that's what we all got on right now. So I know, Clark, you've been on record thousands of times saying that the Air Force One is the best shoe to ever be made.
To me, yes, it's the best shoe.
And why is that?
Because it's super clean, super simple, and it's almost like the best canvas to tell stories on.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? There are other good shoes, Jordan 1s, Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s. Those are good shoes to tell stories on. But I think Air Force Ones have the cleanest and most available canvas to tell a story on.
So break down the 112 colorways too. How did that whole thing?
112, that's pretty funny because I got brought in to be a consultant on building an Air Force One store. I had an idea to come up with
his own store by itself, like a flagship.
Yeah. And in that, I went to my first meeting in the capacity of consultant. And in the meeting, I'm just super hype. I'm like, can I make a shoe? And guy next to me is going, calm down. That's not what we're here for. So 30 minutes go by. We're talking about everything we're talking about. I'm like, yo, but can I make a shoe? And he's like, chill out. Chill out, right? Mark says, well, what is it that you're trying to see? And I'm like, I want an Air Force One. I want the elephant print here. I want the 3M. I want the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I only want one pair. And like, one pair. I was like, yeah, one pair so I can on Bobito. Yeah. Right? And they were looking at me
Bobito
like,
Garcia for sure.
That's my brother.
Right.
But he had these white on white. He had these white and burgundy Air Force Ones with the name Bobito on the side. And I just was like, I'm dead. He killed me. He killed me, and I just was like, I got to get something to kill him. So that was my mission. And you know, we're sitting there, and they're like, "What are you gonna call him?" And I'm like, "Brooklyn." They were like, "Clark, please think." And I'm like, "Okay, 718." And they're like, and then I thought quickly. I was like, "Wait, 718 is also Staten Island, the Bronx, and Queens." And I was like, "Nah."
Right.
So I kept thinking, and I was like, "We'll call him 112." And they were like, what is 112? And I was like, 112 is the first three numbers of every Brooklyn zip code. And they were like, see, now you're thinking.
Right.
And I was like, yeah. And they were like, see, that's a story.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, cool. Can I get them? And they were like, what other shoes do you like? I'm like, Air Max 1s. And they're like, see if you can put one together. 2 minutes, another one's there. And then they're going, oh, what about Air Trainer 1s? And I was just like, they were all right.
Nah, you're right. Yeah.
Now
like
you got me working.
Because now I'm an employee.
Because now I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know if I love this shoe, right? But I liked it, but I wasn't crazy for it. So whatever, that takes a little more time, but it gets up on the screen. And Aster says, hold on, that's a ones pack. And I'm like, what the f- is a ones pack? He goes, he gets Kelly Hibbler. Kelly Hibbler comes back in and he goes, oh, that's really good. And I was like, cool, I just want the Air Force One. Right. And I only need one. And they're looking at me like, no, you created a ones pack. This could go on sale. I was like, I don't want nobody to have this shit.
Right.
I'm not even putting together that they're saying to me, you're going to have a shoe out.
Right.
And then Aster goes, like, let it happen. You'll have a shoe out. And I was like, okay.
Got to go through the motions sometimes, man, you know?
They came out. They evaporated. And from that point on, it was, oh, what else you got? Oh, what else you got? And I didn't realize that I had the ability to create that way. And from that point, I've just been trying to make cool shit.
When I was on DS&Es and I took off the keychain and I had this small piece of pink fabric that was on the shoe, it reminded me of the Bespoke days. And so did that help you develop into the 112, or was it the reverse? What?
The meeting was because my idea for the Air Force One store was to have something called VIP ID,
Right.
where you can go in and make anything, and that became the Bespoke Lab.
Right.
So me designing that shoe beforehand was not part of the Bespoke Lab, but I would use the Bespoke Lab later in years to come up with ideas for
test
shoes,
things out.
just to see what it would look like, see how I felt. Like this definitely was one that came from the Bespoke Lab, because I would go to the Bespoke Lab and lose
Go
my
crazy.
shit. I'd go. I've got some Bespokes that are just nuts.
Right.
I mean, and you know,
Ain't you find some today? And you was like, oh shoot.
yeah, I found a pair and was like, maybe I should wear it, and I was just like, nah.
Let's go ahead and do our beautiful segment presented by Lids. And they brought you guys some special hats.
Thank you to the Lids people.
Shout out to the homies at Lids for holding it down always. But yeah, so with that, we're asking each of you to put us on to 3 different things, right? It could be a book, philosophies, food. It could be a hat. It could be a sneaker. Whatever you want it to be. It could be 3 different things.
First, I would say Scar's Pizza, and I'm not saying it because of the shoes. I'm talking about it because they actually make probably the best pizza in New York City. No pork in the restaurant. I don't eat pork, so there's no pork in the restaurant. My friend Scar is the owner, and we have a true friendship. That's the reason why there were Scar's Air Force Ones, and we've done Scar's projects with Jordan. But the pizza is perfect, and it's black people in a game that most people would automatically assume to be Italians or whatever.
Right, exactly. Downtown. What's us on
35 Orchard.
And we're going worldwide.
That's true.
Going
Going worldwide.
expansion?
Yeah, a lot of expansions, which is fucking amazing. So it's all good.
Second thing,
The next shoe project is kind of crazy.
which is you get a drum roll or something. What we need.
It's called. You know what? Before I say what it's called, I don't think I'm gonna say what it's called. It's a celebration of a friendship between 2 guys who do the same thing in 2 different genres. You know what I'm saying? One guy does what I do in sneakers, and I do what he does in the music business. So we're both super connectors. You know what I'm
trying
saying?
to do the math in my head right now.
We both come from DJing first.
Okay.
We both do the super connecting. That super connecting moved us into other businesses, and we're really been friends for a long time. And the sneaker is a celebration of our friendship.
Looking forward to it. This guy's the Riddler, man. I'm trying.
And there's 2 versions.
Okay.
So I mean, if you think about turntables, you know, most companies
Left and
that make turntables, they make 2 colors. So there's a silver color, there's a gray color, and there's a black color.
I'll make sure to get you my address on time this time, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll get the friends and family package.
Right.
My third thing is new MCs, and I say MCs and not rappers because I want to hear bars. You know what I'm saying? So I'm totally into trying to hear the next guy that really, really raps. You know what I'm saying? And the hard part for me is, you know, I could sit here and name a bunch of guys that I think that will rap for real, but then they might not be that new. But that's not the new guy's fault. That's the fault of so much bad rappers that you don't get to hear the great MCs. So then you're stuck with the guys like Sci-Hi, where I'm going like he's amazing. Lady London's amazing.
Yeah.
J. Cole's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at the guys who really, really rap, the Pusha T's, and I'm like, the Simbas, can we get some more youth that really, really rap?
Right,
you know?
right.
So
we
I'm
got
looking.
Scar's Pizza, new shoe project,
Yeah.
and real rappers.
Yeah, new MCs.
New MCs, excuse me.
We have
New
enough
MCs
rappers.
from Clark Kent. And what are your 3 put us on?
First on my list would have to be Norway. The midnight sun that happens in Norway. You ever heard about that?
Oh, yeah. See, he living life over there.
No.
How old are you over here talking about Norway, man? Put them on, man.
Let's drink to that.
Nah, man. You know, as I've never been the person to like be into travel and everything like that, but once I saw that there's a place where the sun doesn't set, that to me was like crazy because I don't really sleep that much.
Right.
You know, I'm constantly, you know, making my music or whatever. Sometimes I'm playing games, but just the thought of a place that is always
Kinda
light
allows
out.
you to,
Yeah,
doesn't
like
make you
it
feel
just
weird for
sounds-
being up at 4 in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So definitely no. I haven't been yet, but I plan to.
I went one time. We had me and Trav had a show out there, and our set time was I think 2:30 in the morning, and it looked like this outside. I'm not even kidding.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's
It's
definitely
hard, see?
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
So
My
we got
second
Norway.
thing would be it's super simple. Tangerine juice from Trader Joe's.
Tangerine juice.
Tangerine juice. Like
I told you he'd be mixing wild shit.
yo.
He gonna be like, I put some of the rum punch in.
Yeah, nah, chill. Try it as ice cold as possible.
For real?
Yeah, and
That
it's
sounds
like-
good. I'm not gonna lie.
You'll never want to drink orange juice again. Like tangerine juice is amazing. From Trader Joe's.
No, but see, he's particular, like not
yeah.
regular
Not
tangerine
regular
juice.
tangerine juice.
Trader Joe's
Trader
tangerine
Joe's
juice.
juice.
Might be
It's not an
might be
ad.
250 extra.
Yeah, right.
yeah, exactly.
Make it stretch.
Third thing, my music. Like
Right.
what I
That's-
make, what I'm doing.
I would add
you
that
know?
as 4 on my list because I get to hear him creating all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Very
I-
proud of him.
I love it. Like, and I really like enjoying making music that a lot of other producers aren't really making. Some of the stuff is a little simple nowadays. It's just boring, you know. And I like to bring a little extra flair. And I understand that it's hard for some rappers to really get to it that way because
Right.
we want that TikTok music.
Yeah.
I don't make TikTok music.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like now it's just really important to find the artist that meshes the best with your, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying, with your taste and your sound. Just because there's room for everybody in this game at this
Yeah.
point. You know, we were talking earlier about how it really is. Even in the early 2000s, in that decade, it was more of like all right, these are the guys that you have to pay attention to. Whether you like it or not, these are the guys on MTV, BET, Vibe Magazine, like these are the guys. Now it's kind of like everyone with the social media, you can find whoever, you can sell out tours without even necessarily being on top of, you know, of the game, for lack of better words. So I feel like at this point, it's just really finding like what
Who
artists
wants
really, you know,
who wants to put in the time?
who wants to put in that time. And I could see that. I could assume that, you know, with Clark being your father, that your style of production might not be as, you know, might be as sample heavy as his was, but I feel like that kind of those connotations and those tones resonate in your music too, you know?
Well,
So-
it's funny you say that because I make music super different from him, and I get no help from him. Like no
Right.
type of. He'll be like, I like it or I don't like it. That it ends at that, you know. And I
Yeah.
appreciate his opinion very much. But there's some moments where he's like, Yo, I don't like this. I'm like, yeah, you're bugging.
like, you know, this shit is fine.
Right? But the thing is, if I sit there and I go, do this like this, do that like that, then it's not his music.
Right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because nobody told me how to do it. I watched Herbie Lovebug make a beat, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I went to Molly Mall's house and watched him, and I was like, oh, I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? All I learned was the actual mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But then it's what my mind puts
It's
together.
just taste that
So
exactly that carries.
music should be from your heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I say should be because there's a lot of people who are not putting their heart. They're just putting I might make some money today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just speaking of processes and learning how to make beats and you know, your whole ascension when it came to that. I think I even sent you a picture. Your SP1200 was actually in the Brooklyn Museum. What's your favorite beat that you made on that particular piece of equipment, the SP1200?
That's a great question. It's funny because when he finally discovered Dilla, his mind was blown.
Right.
And I was like, well, Dilla's making beats the way we made beats back in the days. And he was looking at me like, what? I was like, yeah, chopping samples, that's something we did.
Right.
And then I showed him a chop, like a heavy chop.
Crazy.
And that is probably my favorite beat. It's something called You Can't See Me.
Okay. We got to load that up and play it on the...
Wait, the one that was
No,
for Cam?
no one has it.
Oh, no.
I was gonna give it. I was gonna give it to Cam back in the days,
Okay.
but didn't get to.
Fire.
But it's nuts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and the thing is, like, it's still very, very available to be relevantly used. I just got to get somebody who's gonna say, okay, I'll step back there.
You're right.
You know. But yeah, it's called You Can't See Me. And shit is crazy. But of records that I've made, I think the best beat would probably be Brooklyn's Finest because of what it took to make it, and the fact that it's not conventional. It's 5 bars. It's extremely musical. It's and it's made off my favorite song ever.
Right.
So,
Oh, okay. Ohio Players.
yeah.
Ecstasy,
That's to me, that's the best record I've ever heard.
How did it feel to put your voice on a record? Did you want to do that? or was it-
Absolutely not.
Like,
No.
Yeah.
I went in the booth because they left me there without a hook.
Yeah.
So I just tried to make a hook, but I made it my business to tell the engineer, please change my voice as much as possible because I think I have the worst mic voice in the world. Like no.
It's funny he says that because he's like the producer tag that I have, it's his voice.
Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is dope.
but yeah, they left me with no choice, and like to the point where I did it, tried to make them change up the voice as much as possible, and then lied about it. You know, like when we went to master, and it was like, "Yo, who's this?" I was like, "I just got some kids. I just got some kids from outside." And Dame was there when I was doing it. I'm just like, "Dame, man, you just can't tell him because the thing in our crew was, Clark, you're not no rapper."
Right.
And I'm like, "Great."
Right.
I don't ever want to be a rapper. You know what I mean? And then I'm basically rapping on Brooklyn's Finest, and I'm just like, shit, this is terrible. Right. And then when the record comes out, a few months later, there's a show at the Apollo. I'm standing off to the side of the stage, and they start doing Brooklyn's Finest. Come on, Clark.
Bring your ass.
Now,
bring your ass.
Now I'm like, I got to do the hook. Like, I felt crazy because I'm like, I'm not a rapper. But the record worked. Right. So it's like I had to do it. And I was like, I'm glad this is the last time this is going to happen.
But still, how do you... Now you got to be like, all right, that's some legendary shit that I just pulled off. Biggie and Hove, like, come on. And you're on the hook. 3 Brooklyn...
No, it was
Titans.
Brooklyn's Finest.
Right,
that's
exactly.
why the name of the song was Brooklyn's Finest, because it was Brooklyn's Finest MC,
Exactly.
Brooklyn's Finest rapper, Brooklyn's Finest DJ.
Exactly.
So that was the reason why it was called that.
Right.
Before Biggie was on the record, it was called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Totally different song. That's why the first line in the second verse is No More Mr. Nice Guy. You know what I'm saying? That was the name of the song. And then Jay changed everything. And then Biggie got on it, and it becomes Brooklyn's Finest. Sense. Here's the thing. You know, you got people who are walking around with cameras going, oh, we're going to make history today. Mm-hmm. History doesn't get made. History happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was never a we're going to make history thing. It was Big's my friend and Jay's my man.
Right.
I think they're the best.
It's time.
Let me try to get them on the same song.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? And it just happened.
Amazing, man. So, just hip-hop related. If there was not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if there was a Hip-Hop Hall of Fame, who would be your first 5 inductees into the Hip-Hop Hall of Fame?
Grandmaster Flowers, Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, Coke La Rock.
All DJs?
Nah, Coke La Rock was the first MC.
Yeah.
And Grandmaster Flowers was Brooklyn's superstar. He's the first DJ that I was like, oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's the first person named Grandmaster. Mm-hmm. All of that. He played at Yankee Stadium in 1969, opening for James Brown.
Crazy. And
he was the DJ in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah.
Can mine not be like so
OG
heavy? Yeah.
It might not have Grandmaster and any other titles, right?
Yeah, none of that. First for me, definitely got to be Ye. Yeah. That's an easy one. Kid Cudi, J Dilla.
I'll put Dilla in mine for sure.
Definitely him. I was gonna say him 5th. Dang, you want to give me a little help? I love a lot of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Hove, Big, Pac. Hove, Big, Pac. That's pretty easy.
I guess
Nas, dog, Nas. Nas.
Use your head, son.
You know what blows my mind is when you're thinking who you're putting in, but you're not thinking how did these people get to who they are. They got to them because of Hov, Big, Nas, Pac, Snoop. Like, you get these people because of these people. You know what I'm saying? You get those. Ice Cube.
The gateways to
fucking Ice Cube, dog. Like, Slick Rick. Like, you get these people because of these guys. Chuck D. When he was 10, his favorite rapper was Slick Rick.
I was just about to say that's my
me
number
too.
5.
I feel like I did a good job because of that. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, my list is Ye, Cudi, Pops, J Dilla, and Slick Rick.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful top 5, man. I definitely put Dilla in mine just because of what he represented, where he's from. Like Detroit. I just feel like that's just super important to rap and where it stands now. I'll put Ye just because he's clearly influenced everything after him.
He said everything.
He's pretty much. I mean, just as far as the aesthetics and everything, he's influenced.
I can't have this argument with y'all too. So.
He's influenced everything.
That interview he had with Big Boy when he said what he said, that was real. The past 20 years,
like, 808s and Heartbreaks, just the auto tune usage, like he's
Jesus,
everything. He's influenced pretty much everything.
It's not necessarily that he started these things. It's just that his influence and the way he does it is so like peak that
exactly.
It's that at that point
It's
you
almost to
can't
the point where
deny
like whether
it,
people know it or not, it's like Ye did that already. Like
Right.
it's getting to that level of influence.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope.
No, I think it's. I didn't mean that in no way.
Cool story, dude. Like,
No, I literally meant that. I'm like, nah, when you look at it, I'm like, I think that's f***ing dope.
no, he's definitely visionary. So what I said Dilla, Ye. I'll definitely put Cool Herc just because all of this.
Facts.
I'll hold down Clark with that one. I want to put somebody young in there. You know what? Just for sake of conversation, just to spike things, spruce things up. And because these are not the only 5 in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. These are just 5 people that I'm
Those are your
initially
5, your first 5.
My first 5. I'm putting Chief Keef in there. I'm not gonna lie.
I respect
because I want to walk into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and see that era represented.
Yeah.
Because when Love Sosa and Finito and it was Love Sosa, Finito, and Kobe.
Macaroni
and Don't
Time.
like that whole era changed everything for these kids. And
Yeah.
I just want to see that era represented. I want to see the young kids with dreads and Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Old Block and all that. I want to see that represented in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. So I'll put him in there. And I'll put Trav because that's my guy. Come on, man. I gotta do that.
Travis is special, dog.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's having that same effect.
So I'm dumb early on Travis, and I'm like, yo, this cat named Travis Scott.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, yeah,
Nah, let me explain. Let me explain.
Explain.
I'm gonna explain. So
Hater.
no. He's like #1 fan right now.
Nah. So basically, we were shooting. What was it? The Quick Strike at Complex.
Yeah.
And Days Before
Great
Rodeo
show.
just dropped, and we were just like bumping it in the room. And he's like, "Yo, this is fire. This is fire." At the time,
what I kept telling you was he's gonna be that deal.
Yeah.
He's not. Clark did used to tell me that all the time.
Yeah, and when he was telling me these things, I'm hearing the music, but I gravitated more to the chill stuffs like Backyard and Gray. So when I'm bumping that, and then I go listen to Al Faro, I'm just like, oh, okay, some of the stuff is like really dope.
Yeah.
And then he drops Rodeo, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm locked in. Yeah, I'm locked in. Yeah. And then all the older songs that I thought was too aggressive, I'm now that's my joint. Like you put on Upper Echelon,
Right.
it's up.
When I'm at the Travis concert, I am literally waiting for Mamacita.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Upper Echelon. I'm waiting for those raps. Yo, like give me my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yes, everybody's gonna lose their shit all the way through the concert, but that's when I'm like, yes, yes.
That's when you gotta go your heart.
I told you, I told you from this point, this is it.
It's up.
Yeah.
Even talk about the songs, the energy got crazy.
Don't play.
Don't Play is crazy.
Yo, the first time I heard Don't Play, I was like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and that's how early I was like,
Yeah.
again, like, so when I say new MCs, like,
That's what you're looking for.
yeah, I'm looking for, like, somebody sell me again.
And the beautiful part about even what you were saying about like the Backyards and the Grays and everything is that music exists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's next to these super hype, super energetic songs, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh, he's capable of making this.
Like, yo, look at my eyes. Like,
I forgot what exactly my eyes.
Yeah.
And all of these things are kind of Easter egged into these older albums. And I forgot where we was at. I feel like we were talking like Tyler the Creator somewhere overseas. We were on the same festival or something like that. And he was talking about how you have these kind of hints of where the artist is going to grow into in their earliest music. And he was even referencing
that's a fact.
I think it was Be Alright by Ludacris. And how Kanye made the beat and it had like all these strings with the samples and then it turns out Kanye's music has all these crazy strings and orchestras in it. And like even with that with Travis music, people reference like Drugs You Should Try It a lot and all of that because those things are there at the beginning, and it's just you just get all these resources to expand on those as your career moves forward. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like Utopia was like pretty much like that personified. It was like all these hints that we had just expanding into this huge, beautiful project of energy and chords and these beautiful bridges and moments and stuff like that. So
those are the things that make great albums.
Exactly.
Like you can't just scream at somebody for an album and then it come out great. No, you got to have the things that give you mood to segue you to, okay, now we're going to lose our shit. Why are we going to lose our shit? because we was a little sad just now. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want you to be unhappy for your whole experience here. So now let's go lose our shit.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and it's important for artists to do both. And I feel like that's kind of what's missing now is even what you're saying about the real MCing. Like we can still party and rage, but you want that storytelling sometimes.
I would love talent.
You know, at the end of the day,
I want to hear somebody be talented. I do. Like I don't want it to be lost on the few sparkles that we got right now. Like, come on, guys. Like put your pen to that pad.
Yeah.
Yo.
I just want shit to be less of a mosh pit contest. You know what I'm saying? And more of, we can don't be afraid to get on stage and for everybody to kind of calm down a little bit and listen to your words.
Have bars. Please.
Have bars. And,
have bars.
Yeah.
Where's my camera? Please have bars. I can't stress to you how important that is to me. And the reason why I say that is because the first best MC was Grandmaster Caz. He had bars. No Grandmaster Caz, no Rakim, no KRS-One, no Big Daddy Kane. Grandmaster Caz had bars. And rap was a contact sport, so it's like you had to have bars. Like, now it's... Please have bars.
Yeah. So what exactly does that mean to y'all when they say rap is a competitive sport? Rap is, what is that for the average listener that might not know the histories and the backstories of rap and hip hop? What does that mean to you when you say rap is a sport?
If you really dig and keep digging back into the history of our culture, like it was always like some kind of competition. A dancer is dancing against another dancer.
Right.
A DJ is
DJ
going
battle
against another DJ. A rapper is going against another rapper. So it was a contact sport, and somebody always wanted to be the best. And like I think at some point people lost focus of what being the best meant. Not, being the best doesn't mean that you make the most money. Right. Being the best doesn't mean you have the most followers. Being the best doesn't mean you got the most deals. Being the best as an MC means bar for bar for bar, you're in an upper echelon of people who say incredibly witty, gifted shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
While making great music.
Yeah, while making great music. See, that's when the MC becomes the rapper. They're making music that says, this is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where the craft is MCing, and then making the records is being the rapper. Right. You know what I'm saying? And having everything that ties into it makes you a bigger rapper, and then that turns you into a superstar. But the bottom line to me, respect the craft. Don't look at it just like it's just for rappers. Like, no, think about the MCing first. Like, talk some shit, dog.
Right,
say something.
Big yourself up.
Yeah, like rap. Like fucking rhyme. God damn it. Like, let your pen work. Don't think you could just sit in front of a mic and say a line and then sit there and think of the next line and think of, no, craft the shit. Put some care into the shit so that you last for more than 10 years.
Right.
Because motherfuckers go away.
Very quick.
And I'm just like, why are you setting yourself up to go away?
Right.
I will say, his thing, he loved the lyrics and all of that. I just want music that sounds like magic. Something that's like, I can't stop listening. So he hates when I listen to Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti don't got bars, but his music does something to you that's like, yeah, I can't stop listening to this.
Yeah.
Look, my mom loves Hood by Air, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That beat hard.
It's hard.
But a record I like every time I hear it right now, I'm just like, this is that shit. 41?
Oh yeah. Bent.
Yeah.
Bent?
I love them.
When y'all brought them out at the Garden, I was
love
like,
them.
yes!
Yeah.
And I watched the crowd not know who they were, deal with it, but then they didn't know, but now they're like, oh, that's who that was.
Right.
And that was so perfect. That showed that you guys understood what's about to happen with them. And
Trap called with that song. He was in New York.
no, that record is
And
dummy.
like, bro, you gotta hear this 41 shit, bro. Like,
41 shit is fire. And they from Brooklyn.
Right, yeah.
I just want to throw that up,
For sure, man. We have a segment called DJ Scenarios, right? Where I give you a scenario, you got to give me a song that you would play if this actual situation happened, right? So, for both of you guys, Clark, I'll start with you. The DJ before you just burns you out, plays every hot song you can imagine, all right? It's the club is packed, all of that. He's like, all right. He unplugs his computer, like, all right, here you go. After playing everything that, in the headline said that you should play, what would you play in response to him? Be like, you cannot f with me.
I'll play a reggae record set to start the night over again.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's going to play everything that he thinks is hot.
Right.
I've done this before, too.
Yeah.
I've taken the last 10 records that he played and played them again and showed him how to play it. I've done that before. And that DJ became my friend because he was my... the funny part, if you played all the hottest records, like I'm thinking, if you didn't play no reggae, or you didn't play no rock and roll, or you didn't play no... The difference with me is I can play anything.
And what's a sleeper that you would play if the DJ before you just...
I'm going to be honest, anything like house, just dance music, because that music is infectious.
Exactly. Second question is a good one. So it's each of your birthdays. You're DJing his birthday party. Clark, you're DJing his birthday party. They just sang happy birthday, and you need to play his favorite song after they sing happy birthday. What are you going to play?
Well, yeah, the Ohio Player song, right?
That would get me. Damn, that would get me.
Or if it's not that, definitely some Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, okay, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Damn, okay, kid.
I know my dad. It's Father's Day, right?
Well, not be a bad DJ for real.
It's funny that we're sitting here and I get to say this, but like 50% of Travis's catalog, he'll lose his or
Cudi.
I was about to say Travis, Kanye, or Cudi. Yeah. He'll lose his shit.
Okay.
Like if I throw on Fiend, like
if you throw on Fiend, you could throw on Free.
Birthday cake is thrown up in the air.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Like I remember I did a Tommy Hilfiger event, and the night was coming to an end, and I threw on Fiend, and like him and his friends just lost their shit. Yeah. He goes home, he was like, "Dad was incredible tonight." I'm like, "You were sitting for 90% of the night. I played Fiend. Now all of a sudden I'm the shit."
but it's dope because I asked for it. I asked for that in Modern Jam. And he don't take requests, but he was like, "Yo, I got you." So I'm like that.
What's the hierarchy of like best things to play? Is it like concerts, events, clubs? Like what's the best and what's the worst?
For me, I'm a club.
That's a good question.
I'm a club DJ. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me say this. My career started from playing clubs. Yes, we played park jams until we was old enough to get in clubs. But when I got into a club, my career went crazy. It didn't go good. It went crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I was Dana Danes, Jet, Rakim. I was J's. I was Biggie's. I was Puffs. I was a bunch of artist DJs, but I did those things so I could do the after parties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People don't
I'm getting
understand
high
that.
for the after parties. If I'm in your town, I'm getting high for the after party. So I wanted the after party because I wanted to make 3,000 people lose their shit at once in a club.
Right.
And that's the shit to me. Taking them on a journey, telling them a story through music, and making them go home and go, that was crazy. Yeah. Events are cool. It depends on
events
the event.
Events are cool. That's where you get your shit off. Kind of show your taste a little bit more.
All of that. But it's gotta be a party event. If it's a joint with a bunch of tables around, I'm like, oh God, yes. God, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm still trying to make them get up anyway. So it's a little harder when it's a space like that, but it's almost like that's the challenge. So if you put me in a place where you're gonna challenge me, I'm gonna go all the way off.
Right. I'll say this, man. Concerts are so amazing to DJ just because oftentimes, they're going to have the most people. It might be an arena full of people or whatever. But the attention spans at concerts are so difficult. Like, you might play the hottest song, 45 seconds in, you might need to get out of there.
Right.
And that's how, because people are literally staring at you. Like clubs, people are entertained by other things. You might be over there trying to talk to a girl. You might be buying a drink. It's, the club is a club. It's, it's the culture, emotion. Everybody's there to be entertained. And they know they're going to be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. Concerts, you got to move so quickly with things.
Yeah, well, a concert is built to be performed.
Exactly.
So it's like you got to be in performance mode.
Right.
And don't get it confused. If I'm in performance mode, that's like a totally another level because now I'm thinking I got to keep you paying attention until said superstar gets on stage.
Exactly.
Right after said superstar just got off stage.
Right.
So that means I got to be going the off.
I got to go to
Yeah, and then they're not dancing, they're just jumping. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's like it's different than if they're dancing and you can let a song play for a while. You got to keep pounding and pounding and pounding.
Right.
And then you got people who just pound and don't think about the technical aspect of playing records, and then the shit just be like, oh, you're just throwing songs on.
Right. And they burn out after
the crazy part about that is you'll have a guy who gets on stage who does that, and the motherfuckers will be like, he killed it. And you'll be like, no, he didn't. He just played a bunch of songs that you like. You think he killed it, but he played a bunch of songs, but he was terrible in his transition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His mood, everything, like, where'd he go? There was just songs were just all over the place. If you don't set it up properly, if you don't say the right thing in between two songs, like, it could go haywire real quick. You've been on tours long enough to know, oh, I'm gonna bring the club to the stage.
Right. Basically.
You know? So that's what I did when I was on tours. If I had to play in between two artists, I'm bringing the club to the stage.
Right. So bring it back to this Father's Day edition. We're gonna put on our dad hats. Whew. And to both of you, Clark, what's the biggest thing that you learned from your father? And what's the biggest thing you learned from Clark?
What I learned from my father is to be a father, because he wasn't a father.
Okay.
I never had a father in my life.
Right.
He's a piece of shit. So I made it my business to not be like him.
Right.
Thankfully, I.
Exactly. You have the total opposite
exactly.
answer.
He taught me a lot about integrity, you know, and just believing in what you believe in. Because, like, don't let people sway you. Don't, just do it because people telling you to do it. Stand on your business, do what you got to do, and hustle.
Right.
Those two things, integrity and hustle, I got all that from him.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
What about you?
Biggest thing I learned from my pops, man, it was dope. He was very big on asking questions and just knowing things so that nobody could sway you in a certain direction. He was very big. I remember every year on the first day of school, he'd be like, ask a lot of questions. And I didn't get why, but being an adult, obviously, when you're growing up, you don't really adhere to those things too much, just because my dad, he just telling me something else. He just told me to take the trash out 10 minutes ago. Now he telling me to do something else, whatever. But he used to always tell me to ask a lot of questions, and it's because knowledge is that important. Not even on the grand scheme of things, not to just know a whole bunch of Snapple facts and shit like that, but just know what you're getting yourself into is probably the biggest thing that he taught me, for real. So I always looked up to him for that. And he's just super knowledgeable about things, and he, like I said, he gets things done himself. He doesn't really need too many too much around him. He's very independent, and I always looked up. That was the biggest thing I admired about him and my grandfather, was that they were just very present and very, very independent. So that's why I love them so much.
Awesome.
So this has been such a tremendous episode, man. I appreciate you guys for coming.
Thank you for
taking
asking
your time out. Appreciate you guys coming, man, and have a great Father's Day.
Thank you, sir.
You too.
You gonna make this guy a grandfather anytime soon? What's the vibe?
Relax.
Soon is crazy. At some point.
Let's let him make some records. Let's let him make some bread.
I had to ask that one.
No.
My whole thing is I don't want to have a kid until I can have the life that I had doubled.
Right.
Yeah. So that's gonna take a lot. Yeah. It's
Smart.
gonna take a lot, but it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. All right. You have to understand, growing up from the hood, our goals is to make sure our kids don't go through what we went through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even to make sure that they do better or have better. It's if you don't go through what I went through, that's fucking goals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's not going through what I went through. So.
Right.
Not at all.
You did a great job.
Right. Yeah. Good job, Pops.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Word up. Well, round of applause for our guests here, y'all.
Thank you.
This is a beautiful ass episode. Another episode of Aux Money, man. We out.
If you don't hear Snoop's album, you don't get Biggie's album, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going on record as saying Tupac is one of the best rappers ever. See, I'm clear though. I say he's one of the best rappers, not one of the best MCs. But I'm clear. You know what I'm saying? Like I put Jeezy in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? When Jeezy speaks, you believe him. Even Ross, he speaks, you believe him. He's not one of the best MCs, but like he could be lying. Like Pac used to be lying, and he lied so good you believed everything.
Welcome to Aux Money out.